Hi, I'm Ken Ross.
And Aaron Ross.
And this is the first video in the sequence on fatal mistakes made by CEOs in creating predictable revenue, which is hiring the wrong VP of sales.
Also at the wrong time.
At the wrong time, too.
So first, let's talk about some of the reasons why CEOs hire the wrong VPs of sales, right, such as the CEO actually lacks sales experience themselves.
Or they're impatient. They can't wait and interview enough people to find an A player. They settle for a B or a C player.
Mm-hmm. Investor pressure. Sometimes you and your investors have different agendas.
And sometimes you're not realistic about where your company stands with respect to the product, the market, or even your sales infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Oftentimes just a lack of a focused job specification. Right? It's just not really exactly clear on who you need.
Or you may be blinded by a resume from somebody that's been at an Oracle or a Salesforce.com and think that that person will be successful at your company.
I love the rising tide syndrome. It's just a great name. So, and lastly here, we've got, just when you have the CEO doesn't do the reference checking themselves, they have someone else do it, whether it's someone in the company or recruiters. Right? Let's now talk about how to hire a great VP of sales. So the first point here is that the CEO's got to be involved in selling in some way, like understanding your sales process and what's needed, because unless you are involved in some aspect of it, and hopefully you've actually helped sell the first 10 or 20 customers, you're not going to have that hands-on knowledge or intuition or judgment to be able to actually hire the right person, and it'll be easy to be sold by the wrong candidates.
Okay, and the second one is really making an honest assessment of the company stage. You need to have a realistic picture of who you are, what you have, what resources you have, and what stage you're in. So, for example, Mark Leslie has talked about the sales learning curve and the stages of a company. And he talks about companies that are in the seed stage, creating a business plan, or in the development stage where you're creating the product and maybe have a beta version, or you're starting to get traction in the go-to-market phase, or you're in a market expansion phase, or you're harvesting the product in the company. So being realistic, understanding where you are, really dictates the kind of person you need to hire.
So it actually leads perfectly into the third point, which is, do you need a builder or a grower? Now, these are two very, what I find simple, but general categorizations you could use for a VP of sales or salespeople. Now, a builder is someone who likes to get in, create things from scratch. They'll create or write their own sales materials, help figure out the sales process, be the first or second or 10th hire, being early to help build the sales organization, build the company. They'll be doing a lot of selling themselves. It's great for an early stage company. Very different from a grower who likes to come in, once you're already successful in some way, and just help you grow it. Right? So they're not going to want to write their own materials. They're not going to want to sell much themselves, if at all. And I think the most common mistake is when you're an early stage company and you need a builder, but you end up hiring a grower, and they're just not going to be a great fit. One red flag I'll share before we move on is that no matter who you hire, they should be willing to do at least some selling of their own. A VP of sales needs to do that in order to really understand the customer, the market, and sales process and what needs to happen to grow it.
The fourth area is really the rising tide syndrome, being mesmerized by a resume of somebody that might have been in a highly successful company, a Facebook, an Oracle, or Salesforce.com, and thinking that because that person was highly successful there, it's going to translate to success in your company. It may be the case that it will, because it could be a really good person, but it also could be the case where that person has been carried along by the success of the company, was highly successful, really not due to factors beyond his or her control. So look beyond the resume, look deep into the characteristics of the person you're interviewing.
Last point is that you want someone motivated by meaning more than money. It's very, especially in the tech world, it's easy to get caught up in a gold rush mentality And honestly, if you hire a VP of sales who's motivated mostly by money, money's important, but if it's their main motivator, then not only will they not stick with you if your company hits challenges, and every company does, they're also going to hire salespeople that are motivated mostly by money. And today, the final point is that customer success is incredibly important. And if you have a head of sales and sales team motivated mostly by money, it's going to be a lot more challenging for them to make the right decision out of integrity when there's a question between them making money and doing the right thing for the company or customer.
Okay, before we end, I wanted to just give you a quick recap of the 7 reasons why CEOs hire the wrong VP of sales. Here they are. And coming up next is going to be fatal CEO mistake number 2, having an autocratic or top-down management style. We look forward to seeing you at our next video. Thanks.